So some players such as Steven Gerrard, Eric Cantona and Zinedine Zidane quit the game when they are at the peak of their powers. They want to ensure that they end their career before they start to decline and move on to the next stage of their career. Cantona went in to do some acting, Gerrard has gone straight into management with Rangers, but some players, they just carry on playing because they love playing the game. Doesn't matter what level they're at, they're happy to drop right down the leagues into non-league and continue to play their football right into their late 30s and 40s. And some of these players have racked up hundreds of appearances in the Premier League, and there's some that are still playing in non-league that I'm sure you did not realise were still playing, and you're going to find about that in this video. The top 10 non-league players with the most Premier League appearances. And you can stay up to date with loads of stuff going on currently in the Premier League using OneFootball, a great central app to stay up to date with loads of things going on in football across multiple different leagues in so many different countries. You can stay up to date with specific teams, specific matches, find out loads of stats, find out latest transfers, rumours, loads of stuff that's going on. Link is in the top line of the description. But anyway, let's get straight into the video with the guy that's in at number 10.
So number 10 is one of the younger players on this list. He's only just over that 30 mark. It is Sylvain Ebanks-Blake. He was in the Premier League with Wolves between 2009 and 2012, making a total of 76 appearances and scoring 10 goals. However, since it's been a slow decline down the leagues for him at a relatively young age after peaking quite early in his career, he's now in the 7th tier with Barwell. And at number 9 is a player that plays in the 6th tier, and that is Stephen Jordan of Chorley. Now this man's career in the Premier League began in 2002 with Man City. He was at Man City before all the money came in, but he still made a lot of appearances in the Premier League. 72 appearances in England's top flight, 53 of those coming at Man City and 15 of those coming with Burnley during the 09-10 season. He's now at Chorley and has been there since 2016. At number 8 is a player born in French Guiana in South America, and that is Marc-Antoine Fortuna. He first came to England into the Premier League in 2009 when he was on loan at West Bromwich Albion. He scored 5 in 17 games in the second half of that season. He was in at Celtic, where he was there for a year, and then moved back to West Bromwich Albion, spending another 3 years there and clocking up a total of 80 appearances and 11 goals for the Baggies. Now 37 years old, he made his first move into non-league this summer, signing for Chesterfield. In at number 7 is Clinton Morrison, who's made 88 Premier League appearances and 14 goals. Yet another striker who is on this list. This guy was an international with the Republic of Ireland. He made 87 of his 88 appearances, so all but one with one club, and that was Birmingham City. The other appearance coming at Crystal Palace, where in fact he ended up going on to make over 280 appearances for, but all of the rest of those appearances being outside of the top flight. Just like many on this list, he slowly dropped down the leagues and now finds himself with Mickleover Sports, where he's been since 2016 and regularly seen on TV as a pundit. And at number 6 is Jamie O'Hara, a player who actually moved into non-league a lot quicker than a lot of players on this list previously. After a glittering start to his career where he was at Arsenal and Tottenham, eventually making his debut for the latter of those two teams in the Premier League in December 2007. He'd go on to spend 6 years there with their first team before spending some time with Portsmouth Wolves on loan. In total, he made 96 Premier League appearances and scored 9 goals. But in March 2017, fresh out of the celebrity Big Brother house, O'Hara decided to move and sign for Bostik League side Billericay Town. This was soon after Glenn Tamplin's takeover. He was one of their high earners, one of the highest earners in non-league at the time. But being only 32, he still wanted to carry on his career potentially at a higher level, and there is a clause in his initial contract which stated if a championship club came in for him, then he could go on a free transfer, which for me is a pretty crazy clause to have in a non-league player's contract. Now into the top 5, and all 5 of these players have picked up over 100 Premier League appearances. This one has 107 appearances, but only has 2 goals, but that's because he's a centre-back. It's Roger Johnson. An interesting and impressive thing about Johnson is that he actually played every single Premier League match for 2 seasons straight after moving to Birmingham City from Cardiff City. He's most recently been in the Premier League with West Ham in 2014, but in the space of 4 years he's dropped down to non-league, where he now is with Bromley after signing a short-term deal with the club in October 2017, which has now been extended. So now moving back away from centre-backs to strikers, which is the position that features most on this list, and this one is Kevin Lisbie. He sits on this list at number 4 thanks to his 113 Premier League appearances, although interestingly, being a striker, he only ever got 14 Premier League goals. He's one of the only players on this list who have played all of his Premier League football with just one club, and that is Charlton Athletic. Making his debut in the Premier League as a 20-year-old in 1998, he was there until he left them in 2009 as a then 29-year-old. It's a club that played a massive part in his career, and his most successful season was the 02-03 season, where he scored 5 goals after making 32 appearances. He's since played in the Football League extensively, getting over 450 professional appearances, and is now with Cray Valley Paper Mills. He played in the 9th tier, which is the Southern Counties East League. He's age 40, but he's still going on strong. Now actually moving back to centre-backs, we're with Mike Williamson, who comes in on this list as 3rd position with his 134 Premier League appearances. And interestingly, this actually all comes after he didn't even make his Premier League debut until 2010 when he was aged 26. But with Newcastle, he became a regular in the Premier League. 6 seasons he was with them, 5 of those in the Premier League, but he moved down to non-league pretty quickly via Wolverhampton Wanderers and Oxford United. He now finds himself back up in the North East with Gateshead, and he actually won the National League Player of the Month award for October 2018. In at number 2 is Pascal Chimbonda, a right back who made 149 Premier League appearances, scoring 6 goals after signing for Wigan for £500,000 in 2005. Interestingly, he actually turned down an offer to sign for Marseille, instead opting to go to Lancashire. He quickly became a regular with the Latics, earning himself a move to Tottenham Hotspur on deadline day in 2006. He signed for $4.5 million and would spend 2 years there, spending 6 months of those 2 years with Sunderland before actually going back to White Hart Lane, then signing for Blackburn. He played for a lot of Premier League clubs. Despite being 39 years old, he actually still plays in non-league football, coming out of retirement to play for Tyne Wear side Wellington in 2017, who play in the 9th tier. But he is now signed for newly formed 11th tier side AFC Killingworth as a player coach. And finally, in at number 1, a player with 156 Premier League appearances, and incredibly the last of those was in 2001, and he's been in non-league since 2008. He's a serious seasoned pro in non-league football. It is Julian Joachim. The striker netted 42 goals in his 156 Premier League appearances, most of those coming with his 6 seasons with Aston Villa, but he actually made his Premier League debut back in the early 90s. 1994 saw him make his Premier League debut at Leicester City. However, in the last 10 years, he'd really become a non-league journeyman, playing for a total of 21 different clubs, and now finds himself in the 11th tier with Aslockton and Austin. Age 44, he's had a pretty successful season so far, scoring 15 goals in 15 appearances for the Nottinghamshire-based side.
So you have it, that is it for this list. Of this list, there's a combined total of over 1,000 Premier League appearances, and all these players are currently still in non-league. Which of these did you not know about? Let me know in the comment section down below. Can we hit 500 likes on this video? We're also trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so that's sort of early May time. If we can get there by then, that'd be absolutely awesome. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.